Hey, what's up guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Miro and today we're gonna be talking about Neoholothele incei. There is two variations to Neoholothele incei. There is Neoholothele incei gold and there is Neoholothele incei olive, depending on their colors. We're gonna split this video into 4 different categories and each category is gonna get from 1 to 5 stars, 5 being the highest score, 1 being the lowest score. The first category is gonna be care and biology. The second category is gonna be availability and cost. The third segment is gonna be display and appeal because we wanna see our spider and we want our spider to be nice looking, right? And the fourth segment is gonna be Venom and should I get one? Let's start with care and biology. So here you can see her, she is very tiny sling. It's actually kind of misleading because she looks kind of big, but this is a small brush that you guys see, and this is during our first rehouse that you guys gonna see a little bit more of a little bit later. But now you guys can see the real size. This is basically like 4x4x4 enclosure. This little cube, and she's that tiny in that little vial. This is how we got her. Neoholothele incei is a tarantula that comes from Trinidad and Venezuela, and they are also called the Trinidad olive tarantula. They are considered to be dwarf species, and that's because when they are mature they only grow between 5 and 7.5 centimeters, roughly like 2 to 3 inches. As it is often the case with other tarantulas, the females live longer than males. Females can live up to 7 years when males only live about 2 years. For their enclosures, you guys can see this is probably gonna be its final enclosure. You basically don't need much space, and she's coming out. Okay, cool. That's how she is. Yeah, she hides, but then she always shows up in a little bit because she's a curious little girl. So that's what we love about this one. So here you guys can see all the enclosures that I basically used so far, and as I said, I think the biggest one's gonna be the final one. Basically they all have something in common. The substrate, I kept it pretty damp, and actually I tried, because I read somewhere they can actually just go with dry substrate as long as they have a water dish, but didn't really work out for me. It is really dry in here, I have to say. Southern California, I know I say it often in all the videos, but yeah, it is. So like I said, I tried it for a little bit, but then at one point my spider started to curl up and she wouldn't eat or come out, so that got me worried. So I basically increased the humidity again, and I keep it basically damped almost all the time. That's been working out for me great. Now I see her often and she hunts all the time, so this is really working out for me. So that's just my experience. These tarantulas are heavy webbers, so as you guys can see I use some live plants and some fake plants in there, and also some branches, and they basically use them as anchors for their webbings. But I also have about, I want to say 3 to 4 inches of substrate on one side. It's a little bit sloped, as you guys can see. She can basically build her burrow right here on this side. Oh, she's coming out. I don't know if you guys can see it on the video, but yeah, she actually came out right now. This is about as much as she gets out usually for most of the time. The rehouses can be pretty easy because the moment you approach them, they hide in their little nest and in their burrow. So let me just show you real quick our last rehouse. I think I'm just gonna take out the whole thing if I can. Let me see. We might be able to, yeah, we might be able to just either expose her or she'll be sitting on it.
Oh wow, you can take the whole thing out.
Yeah, she's sitting in there. I think she is.
I think she's underneath, just down here.
Yeah,
I'm hanging, just grabbing on tight. Is that her? Oh no.
It's either her or it's a mold. Oh, there she is. There she is. Look at that face.
There she is.
Look at that face. Yeah, you're gonna have to web up again, girl, but you're gonna love this one, I guarantee you. Because she's been getting a little tight in there. She doesn't look like much spider, but once she stretches, she basically covers almost half of the enclosure. And since she's been using the whole cube as opposed to just using the ground, I felt kind of okay about it for her being in there for a little longer. But you know, now it's time. Alright, girly. Oh, you don't wanna go? She doesn't wanna go. Alright. Sorry guys, we're gonna have to do the rehouse some other time. She doesn't wanna go. Alright, Missy. She's gonna, hopefully she's not gonna bolt out of there. I almost want to leave her with her
the whole thing in there.
But it's a big cluster. Yeah, go. Yeah, I'm kind of pushing. So what I'm doing right now, I'm just gently pushing behind her and hoping that she doesn't like the light, I'm sure too. Let's see if I can remove the leaf completely.
Yeah, little by little start peeling.
There we go. There we go. There it is.
There she is.
There it is. There it is. Yeah, go and explore. There we go. Beautiful little tarantula. Neoholothele incei tarantulas are excellent eaters, and we fed them variety of foods, anything from flies to crickets to cockroaches to even hornworm caterpillars. And yeah, she's an excellent eater, and it almost feels like she never gets big. So this is actually really nice for a spider. One thing that I would say, I don't feel like this is a species that would feed it anything too big, like nothing except maybe for from time to time little hornworm caterpillar. But other than that, I wouldn't feed it anything that's bigger than its abdomen. Now let's talk about how often you should feed your spider. The best way is to basically look at its abdomen. This is why I like to check on my spiders a couple of times a week. One day I do misting and one day I do feeding. Basically, if their abdomen is too big, you don't need to feed them. So I would say once a week if it's a tiny sling, maybe feed it like twice a week, but no more than that. Because of the increased humidity, spider being a little bit skittish and also being very small when you first get it, for care I'm gonna give it 4 stars. Now let's talk about availability and cost. So our Neoholothele incei was given to us as a freebie from Joe Rossi, who's by the way excellent seller, and you can find him on Arachnoboards, and you can actually deal with him with confidence, because I recently had a really bad experience with one seller who's a known scammer, and I'm actually gonna talk about a little bit more in another video. But back to availability and cost. So yeah, we got ours as a freebie, which is really awesome. I don't think in the United States you should pay more than $20 to $40, and these spiders are fairly available. So for availability and cost, I'm gonna give Neoholothele incei 5 stars. Let's talk about display and appeal. So appeal, it's pretty obvious. It's a beautiful tarantula. It's orange, it really sticks out. And I don't know if you guys can see, she is out. Speaking of display, so that's perfect. Let me show you. So this is how we see her most of the time. She basically sits at the edge of her web tunnels. And this is a daytime right now too, which is pretty awesome, because you know, a lot of the tarantulas you don't see during the day. So I think it's actually pretty sufficient. You know, she's not like just sitting out there, but you know, you do get to see her. But when she was a little smaller, she was a little bit more skittish, and she was also hiding a little bit more. So at this point, like just me talking over her and being this close, she would probably already go into hiding. So right now, as she's a little bit older, she's a little bit more adventurous. So for display and appeal, I'm gonna give this tarantula 4 stars, and I think that's pretty good because we get to see her often. She's just a little bit skittish. Okay, now let's move on to Venom and if you should get one. So I'm gonna start by reading you a couple of bite reports because I was able to find something online. Let's just read those up and then we will see how bad the venom is. I just got tagged by small, maybe half an inch Neoholothele incei. It escaped from communal when I dropped some prey in there. When I went to catch it without a cup, it must have tagged my thumb. I didn't notice until after I put it back in its enclosure. I felt very mild burning sensation in my thumb, barely noticeable but enough to make me look. I used an LED light to examine my thumb and seen 2 very small red dots. Basically, it was harmless and I didn't even notice the initial bite. So that's pretty good, right? Let's read the second one. 2 days ago, I was removing some food remains from my Neoholothele incei communal setups, 5 slings about 1 inch, when one of the little buggers decided to bolt out of the enclosure onto the table. Of course, I did not want it to fall off, so I let it run onto my hand. Of course, I didn't have ketchup ready. It then decided to bolt into my sleeve. I quickly made sure it couldn't get far, but as soon as it couldn't go any farther, it tagged me and on the underside of my right forearm. It was a very quick bite, felt like a little pinprick. Just one fang penetrated my skin. After a few minutes, I got very mild, barely noticeable burning and itching sensation, and a little redness around the fang mark. 1 hour later, both the sensation and the redness were gone. I also noticed some very mild aches in the joints of my right hand, as well as in my elbow, but that could also be the result from the flu I've been suffering from. Now, 2 days later, the side of the bite started to itch and it turned red again when I accidentally scratched it. It was my first bite and luckily no big deal. I think this tarantula is definitely worth getting. So since the Venom is not very bad, I wanna give her 5 stars because I think that's only fair. Every spider has Venom, right? I think. Does every spider has Venom? I think every spider, there might be some exceptions. Let's calculate the final score.
Hello, where you at, where you been, tell me.
If you're a beginner who's experienced with faster spiders that can start out as a tiny sling, I think you should definitely get one. The price is usually pretty low. You can even get one as a freebie and they are really pretty to look at. Alright guys, this is it from me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button, hit the notifications button, the subscribe button. If you guys like my tank top, we actually have these on our website. We do free shipping right now anywhere in the United States, and we have a little collection that we call Bugs in Famous Movies, and here you have Pulp Fiction, but instead of Thurman, right? Uma Thurman, we have a praying mantis. I remember how to say that, so that's good. And so yeah, we have a bunch of those on our website, spidercafe.shop, free shipping in the United States. We also have a few really cool notepads and a nice coloring book, and you guys can find those on our Amazon shop, and I'm gonna post a link down below. And yeah, that's it from me. Alright guys, ciao.
Every single moment, I just hope you feel the same. It heals me when you say that you're done. Take flight. So what if you been sitting there and thinking all this time? Oh, oh, oh. What's your mind?